I don't think I've ever listened to a full podcast of anything.
That's so sad, Justin.
Welcome to Hi Felicia. Hi Felicia. Hi Felicia.
How can you even start our pod by saying that?
I listened to clips of Joe Rogan.
Oh my God.
I listened to like half of
This okay, let me just tell my viewers, Justin is filling in for Felicia.
Yes.
First of all, welcome everybody to episode 70 of Hi Felicia with Marni and Felicia. But today it's with Marni and Casey and Justin, who, we've mentioned this last week, has a podcast coming out. It's officially out with Casey, who's produced it, who's on it as well sometimes, and edits it. But I just want to say this for context here. I'm going to Florida tomorrow.
Let my people go.
And the plan was we were going to skip the week. We were going to skip and just not do a pod. But I have so much to say. And Casey said, why don't we bring Justin on? And I said, great, let's do it. So special episode with a special guest. Justin, crazy, grew up with me. We were in Oceanside together. We went to sleepaway camp together. We have history. And now he's back in my life, which is what a blessing to have you at the table. Welcome.
Mitzvah.
So while you're here, boys, we want to promote your new podcast, which is officially dropped. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Give me the log line. You're in the pitch. You're in the elevator. Give me your elevator pitch.
It's called Define Insanity. It's just two guys that, like to mess around and, get recorded doing it. Yeah, so we just want to...
Who's we?
Me and Joe.
You got to remember, the audience doesn't know who you and Joe are. Who are you?
Well, me and Joe are, we're friends and comedians. And, well, he doesn't like to be called a comedian. He made that very clear to me yesterday. He's like, I'm not a comedian. Tell Casey to take the word comedian out.
You better update that description.
Yes, he's very
get right on it.
He's very
right on top of that, Rose.
He's a trainer.
He's self-deprecating too. He doesn't think he's earned the right to be a comedian because he's only done stand-up for like a year.
Okay, so tell me what I've heard the podcast. I've heard iterations of the podcast. I've been here when you've recorded. Tell everybody really what it's about.
It's just, listen.
You're not just talking. There needs to be a storyline.
Yeah, well, I met Joe in a sober house. We're both in recovery, and we're at different stages of recovery.
So you guys talk about your recovery. You talk about the history, the addiction.
Yeah, but it's not really about that so much. It just happens to be that we're both in recovery, so It comes up a lot.
Why should my audience and our audience, Felicia and Marni's audience, are mostly people middle-aged, I guess we're now fucking middle-aged, who watch television, pop culture, but they may like the show Intervention. They like those kind of stories. Why should they listen to your pod?
If I can interject here.
I guess you have to.
When Justin and I were talking about what we wanted to do for a podcast, I had them pitching some ideas, and what seemed to be resonating was the conversation. So this first episode is just getting to know Justin and Joe. That's what just dropped this weekend. Check it out. And they kind of explain where they're going to go with this podcast. And what's been coming together is conversations. We have a guest every week. Every guest has overcome some sort of adversity. There's something in their lives that they've come to the other side of, and they can reflect back and see how they got to that place in a much stronger position. The choices they made along the way, things of that nature. And what's kind of cool about this is it didn't start that way. We didn't really know what was going on. We just got them in the room, and it's equal parts funny, equal parts inspirational. Some things will really resonate. There is some sobriety theme, but there's also just adversity and going through the hard shit that people, all humans can
all humans.
Well, on this podcast, we're going to talk about celebrities and television and movies. And something that people they don't know about you is should I call you, are you a background actor or an extra?
Well, no, I'm an actor.
You're an actor.
I just can't get any real acting work, so I do background work and extra work. Stand-in work. I just did some stand-in work.
That's what I want to grill you about,
Yeah.
because this is what we want to know. What did you just recently film? I want to hear where you were, what you filmed. Do you sign an NDA? Give me all the details.
I signed NDAs for pretty much everything.
God damn it.
Yeah. But I thought about that. I could still tell you stories. I could just, do it my own way.
Okay, do it your own way. So what did you recently film?
Of interest, The Diplomat.
Felicia's favorite show was The Diplomat. Tell me who you played.
Okay, so I was a waiter.
Season 2. Everybody, season 2.
I think it was season 3. Is it season 2?
Oh, I think you're right. It's
It's
season
season
3.
three, yeah.
Fuck.
I think
You're
it was
right. Season 3.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but I think it was the season finale.
No.
Yeah, because it was the Christmas episode. I had one scene where I was Felicity's waiter.
And the fact that he's calling Kerry Russell Felicity.
Yeah, well, she
right?
didn't like that.
Well,
yeah.
the fact that you so tell us, you said that in front of her? You were like, hey, Felicity?
No, it was just a mistake. Like it was.
Did you watch Felicity?
No, I never saw the show, but I just know, like, it's just in my head. You see her, you think Felicity, you know? Yeah. When the director was directing me, I just said, on which side of Felicity do you want me to put this? I forgot her name, and I just wanted to get my message across quickly. And they weren't a fan of that.
Of course they weren't,
No.
but you got asked back?
I was booked, booked for 5 days. I mean,
5 days is a long time.
yeah, this is an amazing show. I've never worked on a show where they put this much effort into every
One
little
scene?
detail.
One scene.
Yeah.
My God. And didn't you also film this year? I think I might have even spoken about this on the podcast, but you filmed Verity, the movie.
Yeah,
'Cause
Verity.
I did read that book.
Yeah.
This audience will know the book by Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
Tell us who you played for that.
But that was more regular, just run of the mill, just a guy unloading furniture in a house.
So
know?
whose house? What was the scene?
I don't know. I think Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is too? I do so much of this work.
It's all blending into one.
I lose track of like what's what. Because I'm doing like 3-4 days a week and most of the time all different shows. Sometimes it's stand-in work. I did stand-in work last week on that Steve Martin short.
Only Murders in the Building?
Only Murders in the Building. I was standing in for one of the actors. I think it was just
Was it Selena Gomez?
no, but it was a little ridiculous on set with Selena Gomez. I mean, freaking paparazzi wouldn't leave her alone, and it's like, why?
Where was it filmed? Were you like in the city, like
Yeah.
outside in the city?
Yeah.
That's why, because it's they're outside, so
but
they feel
in
like
my-
they have the right.
But in my brain, I'm like, Steve Martin is right there.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
Like, how do you give a?
Yeah,
like, why do you
Selena's
care
bigger.
about Selena Gomez while Steve Martin and Martin Short are right there? These are real legends.
Yeah, that is. It's a shame. It's because of their audience. Any other memorable stand-in moments or acting moments that you could speak about?
Yeah, there's a bunch, but I guess Living with Yourself was fun. Living with Yourself was with Paul Rudd.
That was on Netflix.
Yeah, that one I had a line in that one, but I inserted it myself. And
Explain that. What do you mean you inserted it yourself?
well, like I was, on that show for 14 days. And
14 days?
Yeah, cool. I was one of the employees in the
Okay.
office. So one of my jobs, my actions was to hand Paul Rudd some files, and that's it, and keep moving. But I took it upon myself to say fuck that, because I want, I don't have any connections in this business. I don't have any. There's no nepotism I'm able to take
Right.
advantage of. So I have to make my own path. And my
takes-
agent
that
is
takes balls.
horrible and gets me the worst auditions ever.
So what
So
what did
I
you say?
patted him on the back. I handed him the files. I pulled him in and I said, "Nice job, buddy," like that, and it worked. He made eye contact with me.
Was he like, what the fuck? This isn't in the script? Or
he's
was
an
he like, let
actor.
me go with this?
He's an actor, and it felt right to him, so he went with it. And then they paused. They took a half an hour break. They told me they're keeping it. This is great. Blah, blah, blah. I guess they had to talk to producers or whatever. And then they come back and they say, we can't keep it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because
you
of money.
caused a halt in production though.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that plenty of times. But
Jesus. No offense. Like you're a producer's nightmare then.
listen, I don't care. What am I? I'm not just going to sit by
costing them
idly.
money.
When I'm on set, I study everything. I study the director, the assistant director, every actor. Like, I'm not just like hanging around like collecting.
You're not reading a book like a lot of people do when they're sitting on set.
I treat it like an internship.
I love that.
And if I get an opportunity to do something and it's a risk reward ratio of getting kicked off a set or getting a line, I'm going to take that 10 out of 10 times. I wrote a script that I need to get read, which is almost impossible to get read. I didn't know that writing the script was the easy part. I'm telling you, I wrote a show, if it gets made, or when it gets made, to be more optimistic, will go down as one of the greatest shows ever made in the history of television. Okay? And I can't get it read. I mean, I get people that say they're going to read it. I get a few people that do read it, and they have no connections. I'm going to give this to my uncle. He's
You got to submit it to screenwriting contests.
Oh, we did that.
You did it.
We got nominated.
You did?
We went to a film festival in Los Angeles. Me and Joe flew out there. We got nominated. We didn't win, but we actually got nominated.
But the fact that you got nominated should have put you out there for somebody to give you attention.
Well, apparently it didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nominated for best screenplay. Yeah.
Really? And that went nowhere.
It went nowhere.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
So listen, we have to move to our segments in this podcast, and this is the game I'm going to play. Our first segment is Hollywood News, where I mention announcements of the week. If you have a story about a celebrity that I mention, you could chime in. Okay? Okay, here we go. Fox Entertainment has ordered a 1-hour comedy called Best Medicine. It's based on the UK hit Doc Martin, and it's with Josh Charles. Josh Charles is in Handmaid's Tale this season, and he was in The Good Wife, and he's going to be the lead. So Felicia's a fan of Josh. We all love Josh Charles, okay? A lot of streaming news this week. Fox has now announced they've got Fox One coming out. They're having their own streaming service. I'm telling you, the bills are just going to get higher and higher.
At what point are they going to start consolidating all these, right? Like, I think that is the lifeboat for cable right now. If you're a cable company, eventually you're going to run out of these old people that are...
These old people are going to die, and then they're not going to worry about them.
Imagine if Fios or Comcast, they start packaging all of these, right?
There's bundles. There's Hulu. There's Disney.
Yes, but those are deals between Hulu and Disney because they own each other. I'm saying, like, if you're Comcast, be the hub for Netflix, for Hulu. Like, that's how they save themselves. And then also package it with high-speed internet. And then that way that's the new cable. Because cable's dead. Nobody's watching that.
Nobody.
So, I don't know. This a la carte bullshit is getting expensive. We're never going to recover from that financially.
Never. Did you hear Madonna and Netflix are developing a limited series? That's big. About her life and music? Yeah. Any Madonna run-ins, Justin?
No, I've never met Madonna. I met her buddy.
Guy Ritchie?
No, the girl from Entourage. They were like, when they were first coming up, they were friends. She talks with a lisp, kind of.
Oh, I know exactly. I'm got the vision. She was also in the show Younger.
Yes.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes. Okay. They were friends.
Yeah, they were coming up like before
Madonna Debbie?
was famous.
I think her name is
Debbie something. Debbie Mazar or something?
Yes.
Is that
I think that's it.
Debbie Mazar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you saw her?
Well, because I worked on Younger.
You worked on Younger?
Yeah.
See, it's all going to spiral out. What did you do on Younger?
Just normal crap, blur background.
So you do like a lot of stuff that's shot in New York.
I think that was before I was SAG. I did Younger. So, yeah.
I loved Younger. That was a fun watch. When you're on these sets, are people nice or do they just kind of like ignore you?
When you're SAG, they are.
So what, do you have a sign on your forehead if you're SAG or not?
No, you just non-SAG like eats later and isn't allowed at certain tables and isn't allowed to go to Crafty, and it's like separate.
It's like being Jewish.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. In 1930s
oh my
Germany.
God.
Yeah.
That's insane. Wow, learning something every day. Wow.
But with my attitude, I don't care too much. I will go up and hang out with anyone. I'll sit next to anyone at lunch. And
do you ever make friends that you stay in touch with? Crew, actors?
Yeah. It's where I meet girls. It's like on set. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
have you ever officially gone on a date with a woman that you've met on set?
Oh, plenty of them. And a lot of them are in my phone as like hot girl from set and... because I'm really bad with names.
Do you name them like hot girl from, and then name the set like hot girl from Younger?
Yeah.
Hot girl from Diplomat. You have to.
Yeah, because I'll forget. I'm really horrible with names. It's better than the online dating because the online dating is the picture never matches up, and then I'm afraid that my picture doesn't match. It's just very awkward. I like to meet someone, so this is what you're getting. I'm me. You're you. And we don't have to wait for, your picture's this.
Why don't you I don't know, audition for like a Bachelor situation, a dating show?
I'm 44. Isn't that like older?
not
Silver Fox, I don't have enough money for that.
There's got the Golden Bachelor.
Now,
yeah, but those people are all like millionaires. Like, I'm in a tight spot.
There's a lot of different shows out there now. There's got to be a reality show for you. There's got to be. Why don't you audition for like a Big Brother?
I was actually thinking about
like a
competition reality show.
I was thinking about remaking that show. Remember that show, Long Island Princesses? I was thinking about remaking that, only Long Island Princes. What do you think? Because that show was great. That was one of the best reality shows I've ever seen, and it got canceled for like stupid reasons. But
all right, moving on. Did you hear Jude Law and Andrew Garfield? They're executive producing and playing the lead roles Apple TV in a show called Wild Things, starring Siegfried and Roy.
Jesus, didn't one of them get mauled by a tiger?
Yeah, that's a great look at that pairing.
Are they playing themselves?
They're playing Sigrid and Roy.
They're playing themselves.
What do you mean? Jude Law and Andrew Garfield.
Right. I thought you were saying
they'll play the
movie.
lead roles in Apple TV's limited series Wild Things about magician Sigrid and Roy. Interesting, right?
I'll watch the shit out of
Great
that.
right.
casting. I mean, it's
I'm into
Which
it.
one's which?
For all my Grey's Anatomy fans, Patrick Dempsey is coming back to the networks. He's going to be in a show on Fox called Memory of a Killer, playing a hitman, battling Alzheimer's while protecting his family.
Dr. McSteamy.
I believe Patrick Dempsey, Dr. Shepard, was McDreamy, and then Eric Dane was McSteamy.
Oh, okay. I lose track.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, the show's Grey's Anatomy's still on. I still watch it. It's not great, but I'm never going to give up on it.
It's still on?
Yeah, it's like season 20.
No
season 20.
way.
Yeah, because Ellen Pompeo is still executive producing, making like $20 million a year. She still narrates the show. She's still on the show. She's not on the show that much, but
Hasn't she aged out from being like the hot young doctor?
she's not the high young doctor anymore.
can't be anymore.
She's a hot mom now with kids and big time. And yeah, there's new hot young doctors. Yeah.
Is Katherine Heigl still on it?
Heigl was like old school Grey's.
Really?
She walked herself off. She was like, I want to do movies. And they killed her. Like, she's gone. She's been gone. And it was like a whole hoopla.
Was this before Knocked Up?
Yes. Yes.
before
Yeah,
Knocked
because she was
Up.
like, I got to go do movies.
Well, Knocked Up was
Or maybe
a
she
huge hit.
did Knocked Up. And then she was like, I'm out. Like, I need to do more movies.
That was a huge hit. Knocked
I know.
Up.
I know. But then what happened to her? She did a few more rom-coms and didn't go that well. I mean, 27 Dresses was great, but...
More like 27 messes, am I
You
right?
said that every You say that every time. We've got some renewals. Fallout with our homeboy Walter Goggins, who's having a real moment, got renewed for a second season, which they're filming, and a third. That was a big announcement, which, by the way, we never finished.
No.
We never finished
I
Fallout
enjoyed what I
season
saw
one.
of it.
Such a great show.
You watched
it?
Fallout?
Fallout was amazing.
Wow, I'm shocked because I don't think you watch. Do you watch shows?
I watch shows.
What's your favorite all time?
Dark.
Dark is it's called Dark.
It's called Dark. It's a German series. It is the best show I've ever seen in the history of television. I've seen Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire. I've seen all like the legendary shows. I'm telling you, Dark.
Where can we watch it? How many seasons?
It's on Netflix. It's 3 seasons, and that's it. There will be no more.
Wow, what's it about?
It's about existential time travel and
I'm writing this down.
kidnapping, and it's really it's really hard to pin down. But it's
So
a
you
lot of
watched
time
it?
travel.
Did you watch it in German and read subtitles?
No.
You did
Whatever.
the English dubbing?
Yeah, of course. Always do the dubbing. I'm
I
not trying to do homework when I'm
Nope.
watching TV.
Nope.
You know?
So in this episode, you were going to hear very soon from Felicia. We did a little segment with her, and it was all about a show that I watched, and you're going to hear about it. It's in French. It's like watching Squid Game. You can't watch this shit with the English dubbing.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
awful.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
I loved it. Hey, listen,
If you liked it with the English dubbing, then it must be real fucking good.
I'm not opposed to the occasional dub. Be honest with
It's
you.
not good. You don't
No,
hear the tone
it's
of the
probably
actors.
better. It's probably better with the
It's-
subtitles, I would imagine. But the dubbing for this, listen, with
worked.
the dubbing, it was my favorite show.
How do you watch their facial expressions? How
If
do you
you're reading,
If you're reading.
you just make it fucking work. You multitask. Ask my mother. She watches Korean dramas all the time.
I
she's
don't
not
believe that
on
she's
dub.
not dubbing. I
No,
think she's dubbing.
I know she's not dubbing.
I think she dubs.
She doesn't dub. She can't
She
hear.
occasionally dubs.
Closet dubber, probably a closet
She's not
dubber.
dubbing.
She's dubbing. She's stepping. There's a lot
She's
going
not
on.
dubbing. She's so deaf. She probably just reads it. It's probably on mute. So Beast Games was renewed for 2 seasons, which is a show that the kids are watching on Prime.
We never
Mr.
finished
Beast.
that. I feel
No,
like
I was disappointed.
did-
Lennon didn't give a shit about it, which I thought was weird.
But what we saw of it was great. I think it was.
Justin, you look up the Beast Games and audition for it. It's a great.
you'd
you
be
could win
great-
tons.
you'd be great on
You could win
Beast
tons of money. You could be any age.
Okay, I'll let my agent know.
Let your,
Yeah.
no, you got to do it for yourself. Reality television. She's not getting you auditions for
Yeah.
it. Okay, just Google it.
So I read a story about Walter Goggins, which is fascinating. He was on what's that?
Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, well, that obviously. And,
He was
and
on Sons of Anarchy as a transgender woman.
Vice Principals and all that. No, but the recent one, the big hit show,
White Lotus.
Yeah, White Lotus. So the hotel that he was at,
Yeah.
was the hotel where he stayed at 18 years ago when he was recovering from his wife's suicide.
Okay, that is information I did not know.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
fascinating.
what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So his wife committed suicide.
Okay.
Like 20 years ago.
What?
Whatever. And he got depressed and took a vacation, got away from everything. And the hotel that he stayed at was the hotel that they filmed at for White Lotus.
Which is basically like a 4 seasons.
Yeah, something like that. I don't watch the show, but yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And he got a lot of flashbacks and memories, and yeah.
I'm Googling this.
His wife was
Wow.
a businesswoman. I think she started a dog walking company.
Holy shit.
Very pretty blonde. Killed herself, some kind of trauma. She had a lot of troubles.
Goggins traveled extensively, including a trip to Thailand, which later held a significance when he filmed season 3. Wow. Where did you hear this information? Besides, I don't fact-checked it, but that's wild. She died by suicide in 2004. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just shook right now because I didn't know that story.
He's an amazing actor. Like,
he's having a real moment.
I love Gemstones. I love Vice Principals. I think he was in House of a Thousand Corpses or one of those horror movies where he played a cop. He was just like everything he's ever been in. Yeah, like you said, the transgender one.
Sons of Anarchy.
And he did an amazing job.
He did.
An unbelievable job.
So he deserves all the accolades he's getting. He just hosted SNL, and it was great.
Well, he's an actor that's not afraid to become gruesome, where a lot of actors,
right.
Like, you won't see like Ben Affleck or Matt Damon take those gruesome, roles where they look grotesque,
Like in Fallout.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting point. Like they want to keep their looks. They don't want to grotesque.
And not even just physical. I'm not talking just looks, like just the characters themselves. Like his ability to just reach down deep inside of himself and create these characters it's profound, really.
So you didn't watch him in White Lotus season 3?
I haven't seen any of the White Lotus. I do like the creator who was the dude from School of Rock.
Yeah.
I like him, and he
was on a season of Survivor. And he won it.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So, Justin, your homework is you should probably watch White Lotus season 3. You don't have to watch 1 or 2 because they're all different. But if you're a fan of Walter.
Yeah.
So, Justin, we're going to update our listeners on some true crime this week. We've got a Menendez update. Lyle and Eric Menendez were, I don't know if you know this, Casey, they were resentenced on Tuesday to life in prison with the possibility of a parole, which means they could get released. And what's crazy is the judge said that she was shocked by the number of corrections officials who wrote letters on behalf of the brothers documenting that they've been like amazing in jail.
Rehabilitated.
Yeah, like really. So now basically it's in the hands of fucking Governor Gavin Newsom and the state parole board officials. I hope they get out.
Yeah.
I mean, for all these correction officers to kind of, speak on their behalf, I thought it was pretty amazing. Karen Reed. Wow. Are you following this Karen Reed update at all?
What is she? Who is she?
She's a woman accused of murder with several autoimmune diseases.
Yeah, so this is what's wild. This week, they paused the trial because somebody wasn't feeling well. And I think it was her. I think she was having a flare-up.
God.
I just want you to know that. But it resumed, and
I don't know if you know this about Marni, but she doesn't believe in medical privacy.
It's out there online. I literally found online. It says she's publicly discussed her ongoing health issues, including Crohn's and multiple sclerosis. It's not clear if the delay was related to either of those conditions. Maybe
that's autoimmune?
Yeah, both. Oh. She's going through a lot of stress. I've been waiting for this moment. It'll come out somehow. Now, I found a timeline that is an amazing, amazing website. If you want it, it's constantly updated every minute. It says like who's stating what, who's the witness, and it's linking to Google Docs of images that are being presented in court. It's unbelievable. Today I saw a picture of like a drawing of the autopsy. Like,
what did she do, or allegedly do?
She's framed by the cops.
It depends on who you ask.
But what did she allegedly do?
Ran over her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Well,
they were very
reason?
drunk. They were
Wasted.
very drunk and fighting. Yeah. It was an accident. The problem is that there's so much reasonable doubt. She was wasted. Everybody was wasted. It was like in the middle of the night.
Well, she was driving a car wasted and killed someone. Isn't that still manslaughter, even if it wasn't on
That's
purpose?
the thing is they charged her with murder 1.
Well, that's a bad charge.
That's what I said.
It's going to not guilty
but
on
the
that.
problem is that he was a cop, so you feel like they're really trying to stick it to her because you don't fuck with cops.
There's like
cops will come after you. So they don't want her to just,
There's these like scratches on his arm, and there was a dog in the house. Like before,
there's all this crazy.
There's so many layers of the story.
Yeah, but what kind of a dog was it?
It was
German Shepherd, I believe.
Yeah, and guess what? They put the dog down.
That's horrible. That's the worst part of the story.
So.
But why would they do that if there wasn't something suspicious?
There's so many, and they sold the house where they were partying.
What did this dog know?
Exactly. What did Chloe know?
What did Chloe know?
And like the only injury to her car is like a little taillight, but there's footage of her hitting another car where she probably busted her taillight. Like there's so many. Yeah, I think they set her up.
Well, I think this sounds like involuntary vehicular manslaughter.
Which I think was the original charge, if I recall.
So it's a retrial. Yeah. And there's a lot of corruption in it. One guy was already fired who, they would text each other and be like, oh, is it the hot one? Like they just didn't treat her right. So anyway, that was my...
Was there a motive? Was he a wife beater?
He was a lovely dude.
So there's no motive.
No, they were just
There's no motive.
They were
I think it was
drunk, and when she couldn't find him, she was just calling him because she couldn't find him. He was dead in the fucking snow. We think the cops beat him up, and no, there's no motive.
So why is this a story? I'm just curious.
Because it's a pretty white girl who's facing life. So this next segment we do is called Uncircumcised Gems, where we discuss what we watched this week. We pre-recorded a segment with Felicia because she was here yesterday to babysit. So Casey, roll the tape.
Let's roll tape.
All right, Felicia. This is a special pre-recorded segment I wanted to do with you because A, you're in my house.
And B, you're going away this week.
C, talking to the mic.
And you're going...
I'm going away this weekend. So really we were going to skip this weekend, but I just have a lot to say. So I don't want to skip because I want to share my thoughts on something. So we're going to do a little Uncircumcised Gems and cover the show that is on Max, Reformed. Or should we say, did you hear the big announcement today?
No.
Huge. You're going to be so happy.
What?
They're changing the name of Max back
to HBO. And what?
HBO Max.
Okay, but...
Because I think it fucking downgraded the brand.
Yeah.
They have these huge shows like White Lotus. Huge shows that are getting them huge numbers. The Last of Us. These huge shows breaking ratings. And it's called Max. And it plays shows that are on TLC. It's just like, HBO Max. I'm thinking you'll be less confused now.
Maybe. And Karen's confused also.
Well, now you guys will be less confused.
We're both confused. Everybody's confused.
So one of my mentors in production, Nomi, I want to give her a shout out or a nod if she's listening. She messaged me. She's like, you should watch the show Reformed. You and your mom should watch it. Either one of you will hate it, one of you will love it. She goes, I actually don't know if your mom is going to like it. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Interesting.
So I did finish it. It's a French dramedy. It's 8 episodes, 30 minutes each. And it's about a young female rabbi coming into, like, right out of school, I guess, out of her biblical study.
That's what it seems like.
And I watched one episode and I was like, Mom, I think you should watch this. I'm curious what you think because we like shows about Jewish people,
yes.
about religion. So tell me about your journey with this.
I, of course, watched the first episode when you told me. And in my head, I'm going... And I said, give it another, you have to give it a time. And I got to the second episode and I went, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Now, I don't give it a chance. I know that.
No, I liked it immediately. So if you do 2 episodes in, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think a big factor here is it's in French. And automatically when you put the show on, it's the English dub.
Yes.
So I'm all about, just like when we watch Korean shows, Squid Game, watching it in its real language. I think the tone, everything changes. So I wasn't watching it in English. And today, for the first time, because I was doing laundry and I was eating, I had to throw on an episode in English because I couldn't look down to read the subtitles.
Right.
And oh my God, it was awful. If I watched that show with the English dub, I too might have thought this is not good. So maybe one more shot with the French dialogue.
Okay.
It really...
I was trying to switch it over. I'm having a hard time switching things.
It changed the whole thing. I thought it was so rough with the English dub.
And you finished the whole thing?
I finished it. And what I really enjoyed about it was, so every episode is basically like a milestone in the Jewish faith. You have the bris. You have one episode's about a bar mitzvah. One's about a wedding. One's about a funeral. One's with the shiva. One focuses on somebody wanting to convert. Like, I felt like as someone was raised reform,
right,
not conservative, but I really sometimes, I feel like I often forget what Judaism means or the history behind it, the real traditions, the reason certain things happen. So one episode was the Passover Seder, certain reasons why there's a bris. Okay. So I felt like this is a great nod to the religion. I felt like it was a little bit nostalgic and throwback for that, but I also appreciated it because her mentor is an Orthodox rabbi. Did you meet him?
No, I didn't know he would have been. Okay.
So this other man who is this Orthodox rabbi, he's older.
Right.
And they kind of butt heads. There's a little bit of a sexual tension between them, but there's this energy back and forth because she totally disagrees with the orthodox view of things.
Right.
And she's trying to like be modern and young and like speak to the new generation and to kind of to have the religion grow with the changing times. And I just really appreciated. There was one great episode where they're just going back and forth, this great argument between the religion. I just thought it was so interesting. She's very charming. She's very likable. I don't think her father is likable. Her father is a therapist who's basically an atheist. And like a lot of it is like people are like shoo-shooing the fact that she's a female rabbi. Like people in her family are laughing at her. Like I guess it's really rare to be a female rabbi.
You could be a female cantor, but you can't be.
That's more acceptable.
Well, right. But as far as a rabbi,
I know there was a local female rabbi in our town. But I just think,
I thought in a reform temple that they can have.
I think they can, but I guess they were just surprised.
Okay,
I don't know what it's like in France
or anywhere.
I just think you should give the show a try. If you like these type of shows, it's so quick. I just don't think there's anything big that's on right now to watch. I mean, right now we're recording. It's Wednesday, so Thursday, another show will drop.
And Friday,
Overcompensating. But like besides the weeklies, I wanted to always see something new. So for me, this is the show of the week.
Excellent!
Is there anything else you want to say about this week while I have you?
The only show that a documentary was on ABBA.
ABBA. Tell us what network?
Netflix. And I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, they have footage back to the 70s. They have, it's builds up. I really liked it.
Okay,
I mean, I found out things that I did not, or not that I knew things about them when back in the 70s or 80s. I think I just discovered them when the movie came out, the first movie, or the Broadway show.
It's about Mamma Mia?
Yes.
Oh, like you learn aspects of the group from Mamma Mia.
Well, I mean,
I thought that was kind of fictional. What are you talking about?
No, it was fictional, but they played their music.
Right,
I don't think I had heard a lot of their music. That's what I mean.
You probably love the doc because you love the music.
Yes.
What are you looking at? What was the TRT? You remember what TRT means, Fel? What was their total runtime? An hour and a half or 2 hours?
I think it was an hour and a half.
All right.
I'm not sure. I don't remember because I didn't take notes.
You don't have to take note, but you enjoyed it. So
yes.
For the documentary of the week, you would suggest this?
Yeah, me personally. I mean, it's not a murder. It's not a horror. It's not, kidnapping.
I would watch this. Another documentary that I just saw on Peacock that I feel like you may watch is on Joan Rivers.
Yes, I heard about that.
You heard about it from who? Your Facebook Oceanside group or Plainview?
No, I probably just saw an advertisement for it somewhere, And
I'm assuming they have like other stars who kind of talking heads who speak about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely Peacock. I would definitely watch that.
Okay. And while I have you, do you have any big weekend plans while I'm in Florida with your people?
Let my people go.
No, actually. Not that I remember.
Are you jealous? And I'm going to Sunshine while it rains here.
Oh, God. Hopefully it'll be nice by the weekend and then I won't be jealous.
Do you have any messages for the Yentas in Florida?
Well, the Yentas are gone. They all came
they've
back.
snowbirds. They left.
Except Abby.
Except Abby. And Denny. Or is Denny back?
Denny doesn't come back. She might come back for the kids when they leave for camp.
All right. So there's still some Jews in Florida.
Yes. Yes. But my place certainly got real crowded in 1 week. Very crowded.
How was your cocktail party last week?
It was really good.
You didn't even want to go because it was raining.
Right. But it was really good. And we sat appropriately, which makes me happy. And
appropriately? Like, what does that mean?
It means not to sit in a corner in the back, which...
So that means you got there in time to get good seats.
Well, Penny got there in time to get... Because Penny called me. She goes, where do you want to sit?
So it's like a grab. Like it's like general admission when you go to a concert and you have to run. You got to run early to get to the show.
We didn't run. But there were a lot of people. It was really crowded. I think they were hoping it would be outside, but obviously that wasn't going to happen. Okay. The food was delicious. They had really stuff that they normally don't have, like
what?
Lamb chops and spare ribs and Taco Bell. Tacos.
Bell is fine dining in Plainview.
Deli. I mean, they had a lot.
Where was the deli? Like Cater Deli or like Lido Beach Deli? That's the difference.
It wasn't Lido Beach Deli. I can tell you that. But it was everything looked good.
Is there another cocktail party on the calendar for this weekend?
No, they only do one big one, maybe once, maybe twice a year. Maybe.
Are you going to miss me and your grandson this weekend?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks for helping us
I hope
tonight.
you have a
You're
good
babysitting.
time. I'm sure the weather will be
You're gonna
hot
have
and
We're going to
beautiful.
have a great time. Give me a
Right.
pool. Give me my best friends.
What more could you need?
It'll be great. Lennon and me, a weekend away. So thank you, Fel, for joining us. So we will go back to regularly scheduled programming with our Uncircumcised Gems segment.
Next week.
No.
When?
So basically, I'll explain this, Val. So
Okay.
this is basically like a pickup segment that's going to be edited into another recording that I'm doing with Casey tomorrow night.
Okay.
So bye, Felicia.
Bye, Marni.
Thanks for listening to that. I hope you guys watched that show, Reformed. It was really good.
What is it called? Uncircumcised?
Oh,
what?
Gems.
It's what was watched this week.
But does it have to be by Gentile creators? How does this work?
It's just a fun term we coined.
Oh, okay. Kind of abstract. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to say this. I told everybody when I first spoke about the Netflix show Four Seasons that I looked for the movie that Alan Alda wrote in 1981 and I really wanted to see it, but couldn't find it anywhere. Well, of course, because Four Seasons is killing it on Netflix, they dropped the movie and I watched it. Lots of similarities. Character names are the same except for obviously, there was no gay couple. It was played by Rita Moreno and an actor I did not know. What's wild is the girlfriend of the Steve Carell character. In the movie, they end up married. In the TV show, they're just boyfriend, girlfriend. In the TV show, she's blatantly 30. In the movie, she looks like she's in her 20s, and it's Bess Armstrong is the girlfriend. Now, Bess Armstrong was the mom in My So-Called Life, I believe. And what's insane is that this week I was watching, to bring it back to Grey's Anatomy, and she was Lincoln's mother in the wedding episode with Lincoln and Joe. And I swear I heard her voice and I'm going, that sounds like the mom from My So-Called Life, who is obviously in this Four Seasons movie. But she got so much work done that her face was a little bit like, is that her? But it was. So I just thought that was a very interesting fact. Now, the movie was quick. It was weird to watch. I like the TV show better. I'm hearing mixed things. But the good news is that Four Seasons got picked up for another season. And that was just announced. And I'm very excited about
You
it.
think
That
it would
makes 8 seasons.
Yeah. You beat me to it. This is a joke just sitting there.
Do you watch The Studio, which is on Apple TV, which I'm wondering if you would like, because it's basically making fun of Hollywood with Seth Rogen playing a movie head.
No, I kind of fell out of love with Seth Rogen.
But I just want to say, I think The Studio is getting better and better and better. And this episode was so fucking funny. It was about them going to basically like an upfronts, like a CinemaCon, and they have this big presentation. And Seth Rogen's character is like, I'm going to have the best party ever. And he kept saying, there's going to be an old school Hollywood buffet. And Zoe Kravitz ends up taking a lot of fucking chocolate mushrooms. And Bryan Cranston's in it. Dave Franco is hammered in it very high. I recommend this episode. I recommend the Golden Globes episode. I really, really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I even made Felicia watch it. Yeah, and their biggest mistake they made, spoilers, they should have had the party the night of the presentation, not the night before. But I loved it. I also started, and I mentioned this last week, there's a new show that just dropped on Prime called Overcompensating. It's 8 episodes. They're a half hour each. It's like a college comedy. But if you liked the sex lives of college girls, watch this. I'm really enjoying it. It's with a bunch of young actors you will not know, but it's, of course, people in their 20s and 30s playing college kids. Who cares? You get over that. It's created by and written by Benito Skinner, who's a big time, he's got like over 1 million followers. He's a very attractive young man who's gay, and the show is about him basically going to college kind of like in the closet. And like in high school, he was like the all-star jock, and he goes to college and he's like, I think I'm gay. And chaos ensues. I really like it. Connie Britton plays his mom. So, Overcompensating, I really liked. Casey, we watched Handmaids.
We did. It's all happening.
It's all happening, but it wasn't the red wedding I expected. Spoiler.
No. Yeah, if you haven't watched, fast forward a bit.
But it was good. It
was
right?
great.
It was great. It was good, right?
Fantastic. I think it's
Was that like a spoiler alert when you said fast forward?
Yeah, he's saying like, yeah.
I think it's all going to happen. You know, they set the table and they're ready to.
There's 2 episodes left or 1? I think there's
good
2.
question.
That was episode 8. I believe there's 2 episodes left. And it was confirmed. I believe that Elizabeth Moss was 8 months pregnant during these scenes in real life. Did you ever work with Elizabeth Moss?
Yes.
Do you remember on what?
I think The Kitchen. I think that was it. I worked
know
with
The Kitchen.
Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, it was a
I
movie.
don't recall The Kitchen.
I think that was it. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. She's wearing her big handmaid's robe and she's covering the stomach, but you could tell she's carrying child.
She's with child.
And I hope, I don't know, I feel like Serena, there's a moment for Serena and June to kind of, I don't know, do you think Serena's going to join
Every time
forces with her?
Yeah, she could, but I just think that she doesn't deserve it. Like I don't think Serena deserves to
The acceptance
get out
of June to get out alive.
Yeah, I think every time you start
think
to
they're
feel
gonna
for
kill her?
you realize she's pretty awful.
But do you think Aunt Lydia is going to come out alive? I do.
I don't know that there's a redemption for either of them. I think that they've done too much. They've seen too much, or they've caused too much. They're. I got nothing for them.
But Bradley Whitford, Captain Lawrence, is going to come out alive because he's
He
also
probably
helping
will.
them.
I just think of all of them in Gilead. They're just. I got no.
I just can't believe how long that fucking show's been on.
Yeah, no, it's.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for joining us. You dropped a lot of, I guess the episode should be called The Dub or Dubbing, something with dubbing, and Walter Goggins. That was some big tea. This segment is called Bye Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Where we talk about what we're going to watch this coming week, what's coming out, okay? May 21st, 9 Perfect Strangers, Season 2. Casey, I will wait for you.
I never saw the first one.
Then I don't have to wait for you. Wow, you never saw the first
No,
one?
you just went right into it without
Okay, well,
me.
this is like their yoga retreat. They're all on a fucking island.
Right, you
okay?
kept referencing this while we were on our yoga retreat. Okay, isn't
So-
this just like 9 Perfect Strangers? I'm
It's
like, I
Nine
don't know.
Perfect
You
Strangers
fucking watched it without me. I
Meets
never-
White Lotus. You have time. May 22nd is a new series with Julianne Moore and Kevin Bacon called Sirens. This I'm really looking forward to. You ever work with Kevin Bacon? He's in everything.
I can't remember if I have.
I got a Kevin Bacon story.
Megan Fahey's going to be in this as well, and she was in White Lotus. Is it the Kevin Bacon story that involved me as well? Where
You
we
were
saw
there
him in
that
the
night.
restaurant?
We were in a restaurant, and we're like, hey.
In LA.
They were in LA, and we're like, hey, that's Kevin Bacon. And a little later in the evening, I go to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And,
And he was with his wife.
He was with his wife.
Kira Sedgwick.
Now, Justin, have you ever had one of these situations where you're going into a bathroom and someone comes in behind you and you're thinking it's a multi-person bathroom, but really it's like a single-person bathroom?
Yeah.
Now, before I had a chance to turn around and lock the door, there's a man behind me in this tiny bathroom. And we had this moment where we're like, oh shit, this is a single-person bathroom.
And you locked the door. That's awkward for him.
I locked him in, and no, I didn't lock him
remember
in.
you telling me this
But
part.
he realized, he looks at me, he goes, oh shit, sorry, man. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then he turned around and walked out. I didn't give up the room for Kevin Bacon. I was there first. But at that moment, there was no degree of separation.
What's
between-
crazy
No
is
degrees.
in the same restaurant that night was Michael C. Hall.
Right.
What was this restaurant that there were so many celebrities at?
I remember it was right there on
It was on Sunset.
Sunset.
And it's probably not even open anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just remember we were with a couple that was very easily starstruck. And they had a real night. But, you imagine if that guy had been in the bathroom with Kevin Bacon.
That reminds me of a story.
Real weird.
That reminds me of a story when I was at a Knick game once as a kid, and I was sitting first row behind the basket, and we shared the bathroom with the celebrity row, and I went to go pee, and I peed next to Spike Lee.
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
the
that makes
urinal-
sense. That's amazing.
The urinal next to me, and I didn't realize it. I look over, and he's like the same height as me. I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, what is this? What's going on? And I look over. I was probably like 12 actually. And I look over and Spike Lee just sitting there, just draining his lizard, and
Draining his lizard.
and I couldn't resist, so yeah, I peeked over a little bit, and
Oh,
yeah, I did.
my
It was
God.
bigger than I've ever seen in my entire life. Massive,
This is
yeah.
a great way to end this podcast.
Wow.
You didn't sign an NDA.
No.
Spike Lee's lizard.
But do you think it looked bigger because you were so young than it is? Like
Maybe his hands were small. I don't know, but something was huge
the
about
fact
it.
that this is a core memory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll never forget it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was big.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect place to end.
He had to
the podcast.
hold it so it wouldn't touch the rib of the urinal. Like he had to have a support hand on it.
On that note, this will probably air on Saturday. Predictions: are the Knicks going to win?
Knicks are going to win. Knicks in 6. I predicted it. They're going to win 104 to 100.
Did you place money on this?
No.
Bet
No.
Wow, it'd be interesting to see how this ages.
Spike Lee's Petus. Knicks winning. All right, let's go. Thank you guys. Share, like, love.
Oh, and check out
And check
Define
out-
Insanity New episodes drop every other Friday. New guests. Episode 2 is my episode where I am interviewed, and I give you all the tea on Casey.
Yeah, and also if you know any single beautiful women, my number is 516-445-8230. Text me anytime. That's about it, right?
I think that's it.
You better leave that in.
My Felicia, bye, Felicia.